Absolutely.
So Jennifer, you've been in the Peace of Mind Parenting Program for 6 months now.
Yeah, I joined in September. It's hard to
So
believe it's been 6 months already. Time moves so differently now.
thank God you chose 12 months, right? Otherwise
Yeah. I not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous initially when you're like, we're a 12-month program. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do for 12 months? Is it gonna take 12 months for my kid to sleep? But no, that was not the case at all. But I'm so happy to have the 12-month program. Every day I learn something new and it's fantastic.
So tell us a little bit about, where you were in your mind, in your life, in your emotions when you first reached out to BeBaby on that faithful day.
Oh man. So our beginning was difficult. The day he was born, we were so excited. We were so happy. And he was totally amazing for the first like 5 days of his life. And around day 6, he just hit this point where he started to get upset and he just started screaming, and he screamed for 7 hours straight till he finally cried himself to sleep. And I tried everything. I had no idea what to do. My mom was there and she had no idea what to do. My husband had no idea what to do. And we were just flabbergasted. We didn't know. And since that day, it had just been constant crying, constant whining, constantly upset. He never had napped at that point for, I think, more than 40 or 45 minutes. There was a point where we got him to sleep for like 2 hours, and we were so excited because we had the opportunity to just lay down and take a 2-hour nap at the same time as him overnight. And all of a sudden, he was, I think, 3 3/4 months old, or maybe just barely 4 months old. And we finally thought we were getting somewhere. And everybody told me, oh, he's just a difficult baby. He's just got colic. You just have to make it to 3 months and it'll be okay. And that 3-month point rolled around and it was still not okay. And they're like, oh, just 4 months. He just takes a little longer. It's fine. So 4 months rolls around. And all of a sudden, just like that, he starts sleeping for 40 minutes max throughout the entire day. So I started spending nights laying on our living room floor with the baby because I couldn't get in bed. I didn't want to co-sleep in my bed. I was terrified I was going to roll over and smush him. I was terrified my husband was going to roll over and smush him. Our bed is super high off the ground. I thought maybe somehow, even though he wasn't really rolling or moving around all that much independently, he was going to fall off the side, or the dog was going to squish him or something. And it was so hard because I never slept for more than 40 minutes at a time. That was his max. That was my max. And we hit this point where one night I'd spent 14 hours trying to get the kid to sleep for more than 20 minutes. And my husband had gone into our bedroom at midnight and he stayed there until 9 o'clock in the morning. And he came out and he's like, all right, I'll take the baby, you go sleep. And I was like, okay, just be really careful because, he's just fallen asleep like this minute. I spent 14 hours in the rocking chair and walking circles in my living room. And my husband, God bless his heart, walks to the kitchen, makes a milkshake, wakes the baby up. And we had our first official fight because I couldn't take it anymore. And it was just, it didn't matter what we did. Nothing helped, nothing changed. And it stayed that way for months. And there was one night where, I guess it was probably August or early September, because I met Sam in September last year. And my husband's in the military and he was gone. So I was by myself again. And I spent 4 hours after a full day of being by myself trying to get this kid to go to sleep. And all he did was scream at me. and I didn't know what else to do. And I ended up posting on Facebook in the Fussy Baby support group page that I was following and part of for the first time. And I said something to the effect of, sometimes I just don't want to be a mom anymore. And I just don't understand what I'm doing wrong and why this is the way that it is, because it's not what I wanted. And I was really disappointed, and I thought everything was my fault. And Sam actually commented on my post and said, hey, I'm a sleep and parenting consultant, feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk to you and see if I can help you. And so I chose to, and we chatted a little bit, and I told my husband, I was like, there's this woman, and she seems to think that she can help me, even though I'd Googled everything. I'd read every book I could find. I'd talked to all my friends who seemed to just have these gems of children and babies. And nobody knew how to fix it. Nobody knew how to help me. And so my husband said, oh, okay, well, let's talk to her then. That's fine. It doesn't hurt to just talk to her. And so we did. And the second she came on and she had explained to me what BeBaby is and how it works, I just felt like I had to try it. It felt like the universe had brought her to me because I was desperate and I had, paid my dues, so to speak. And, then of course it was the magic price tag at the end. And my husband's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, I don't know if we can do it. And, we kind of sat on it for a day or two. And, Sam was gracious enough to be like, well, we've got the special running right now. It's good for a few more days. Like, take your time and think about it. If you have any other questions, just reach out. It's not a problem. Like, I'm here for you. I want to help you. And it was one of those moments where I met with her like 3 times that weekend, and she made time for me. And I asked her every question I could think of, and she just rattled it off like that. I couldn't trick her. I had no questions that she didn't have an answer to. And I finally decided, I looked at my husband and I said, you know what? I need this. Something needs to change, because I have dreamed of being a mom since I was little. And I had those little plastic baby dolls. And this is not what I wanted it to be. And I think she can fix it. So we took the leap of faith, and she got me all set up. We got into the program. We had our initial evaluation, and it didn't even take a week. And he was sleeping in his room overnight by himself. We had a routine that worked. My husband and I actually, within 2 weeks of starting the program, my husband and I had a date in our house for the first time in like 18 months. We started sitting down, and we're reading a book together that we're about halfway done with now. It's a really big, fancy book by his favorite author that he was really excited to share with me. And it's a really fun book. We eat dinner together almost every night now, instead of one of us managing the baby and one of us eating and then switching. We've been able to go out and do things in the community. We've been able to go to our friend's house and do things. I honestly, I can't say enough about Sam. If she was a goddess, I would worship her for the rest of my life. She has changed everything about my life and our family. And it's so amazing to see that it's not my fault. I just didn't have the tools that I needed to be successful, because I just didn't know. And she has this incredible program that will teach you what you need to know so that you can be successful and you can be a parent, and she wants to be that support, and she gives it to you. She gives you all of her knowledge in ways that are accessible for everybody. If you can't make the lives, I work 8 to 5 basically. And I have a crazy long commute, but she makes it possible. She has this library where you can go in and you can access the information whenever you can access it. And that's been huge for me, because I can just do it when I have time, and I never feel like I'm left out of anything. And she always makes sure that the information is passed along and that it's easy to get to. Um, and I appreciate everything that has happened since September for our family. There's just so many resources that, it's something as simple as like, the other night he was throwing a tantrum and throwing food. And I said, "Hey, Sam, he's doing this. How do I fix that?" And she sent me this message. And within a couple of days, he's not throwing food anymore. Like, it's mind blowing. I don't understand why it works, but it does. This woman's a magician. It's amazing. But it really is life changing. And there's even this mindset piece of it. So it's not just about, making my life easier to manage him. It's about making me a better person. I used to be so anxious about everything, and never really thinking about myself. But this year I turned 30, and I decided that I was going to treat myself. I went to Florida and I had a girls' weekend with my mom and my sister and my aunt and my cousin. And it was amazing. And I didn't worry about my husband being home alone with the baby. I didn't worry about missing a couple of days of work so that I could have some time for me to mentally reset. And when I missed a flight on the way home, I didn't panic. I just walked over to customer service and said, "Hey, I missed my flight." And in the past, I would have cried and crumpled and been in despair. It's just incredible how comprehensive the program is and how much that I've realized that I've changed in just 6 months, when I've been trying to do things like this for myself for years. I really just didn't have the tools until now, and having someone and a team, not just one person, a whole team who can provide that information and that guidance when you're just feeling a little bit lost is the most incredible feeling I've ever had. And I really just can't say enough good things about it. I really can't.
So I don't think we have a dry eye. If you're not crying, you're a robot. Something's wrong with you. You need to go see someone. This is coming from an expert. And this is why I told you to go get tissues. I wasn't joking. This woman has a way of expressing her feelings that you feel all of it, right? You would be a magnificent storyteller, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
It has been an honor to have you. Oh, Jesus Christ. It has been an honor to have you. You threw me off my game.
Sorry. Every time I tell it, I get more succinct,
It has been an honor to have you in the program for the past 6 months. And it's an honor to be able to continue to assist you, for the rest of your program and beyond. And I remember we did have 3 calls. I remember every single one of them. I remember on the first call, your husband had these 2 tiny little dogs, curled up on his lap, that did not move, as though they were like lifeless during the entire call. And all I could think to myself was like, oh, I would love to take a nap with those dogs. They feel
They're
like
very silly.
And we were chatting, and I'm someone who tends to, as you can probably tell, I feel people's emotions a lot. So if somebody's not feeling well in a room, I don't feel well. And then I start searching who the hell is not feeling well in the room so that I can fix it, because until I fix it, I don't feel better. I'm a fixer, which is why I do what I do, right? Some psychologists say it's a problem. I turned it into a career. Watch me grow. And I remember being on that call with you, and I remember I paused at some point during the call and I said, "You're not okay, are you? Like, we're talking about baby sleep, but you, Jennifer, are not okay."
I was definitely not okay.
Now, but you were like being strong and like pushing through because you knew your husband, had a lot of work to do, and you were trying to be supportive and all this, and you started crying. And you said, I'm really, really not right now. And so that's why over that weekend, normally I'll do just the one call, right? But over that weekend, I ended up doing 3 with you at the lake house with your mom, because I knew at that point, that you are not okay. And this is something that I've explained a little bit earlier in the call is I explained to my team that we don't sell things, we serve. And our duty is to serve. And so when you get on a call with a mother and you don't do a good job at making sure that you identify some of her mindset blocks, and she's in a situation that she really needs help, and you don't do a proper job of supporting her and helping her get through the mindset blocks so that she can get the help that she needs, and she walks away and she has postpartum depression and it gets worse or something happens to her, you're responsible because you didn't do your job, right? If you give all the necessary information, you properly support and guide a woman, and then she makes the informed, consensual decision to walk away from the help that she needs. It's sad, but you're not responsible for it because you did everything that you could. So I tell all of my, staff members, always do everything that you can. Always, always, because there's going to be that one woman that had you not done it, you don't know what could have happened. And it didn't happen because you pushed on and you kept checking in on her and you kept making sure, that she was okay. And you were one of those stories where whenever that happens, I have like pink Post-its, and my pink Post-its are situations of the heart that I call them. And so when I put a name on a pink Post-it, that means I need to make sure that I follow through with this person, because the consequences of me not doing so could be dire. And you were a pink Post-it. So I'm really happy that that I was able to get through to you, and that you're here today, and that you're doing so well, and that you're making me cry on live camera. I need to learn how to control my emotions. This is something we can do in mindset. I don't know, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing, right? To be able to feel like that. So thank you so much for sharing your story. I really appreciate it. I could, come up with interview questions or testimonial questions, but the reality is that just letting people tell their stories is, the best way to go about it. And I hope that at least one person watching today is going to realize that they're not alone, and the way that they feel, another mother has feel. Who here has ever felt like you're not a good mom, or you weren't meant to be a mom, or maybe this whole thing was a mistake? At least once, right? Pretty sure we've all felt that way at least once. And Instagram and Facebook and all of these things, it's very curated, it's very pretty all the time, and it's literally engineered for you to feel like you don't know what you're doing and you're not as good as somebody else. And so even the best moms in the world will have secretly moments where they question themselves. And that's why with BeBaby, we don't hide anything. We always put out the truth, because somebody has to say that you can feel this way and feel differently if you get the right support and the right guidance. And I cannot strengthen the importance of this enough, that time is the only currency you will never get back in your life. Once it is spent, and you don't get it back. And the time with your children while they are young is short-lived. It really does not last a long time. It's like the minute that you have a kid, it's like somebody put your life on like super speed, right? Like that video cassette's going woo, right? It goes really, really, really fast. And you don't want to be the parent who 5 years from now says, I don't remember much of those years of parenting with my young children because I was tired and I was overwhelmed and I had too much to do. And so I just don't remember a lot of it, right? You want to be able to remember these years because they're beautiful. And when they're 16 years old and they're talking back at you, you need to remember cute moments so that you don't lose it, right? That's another coping mechanism right there. I'm assuming so. So make sure that if you are in a place where you feel like you need guidance and you do need support, make it happen for yourself. There's a lot of things that you will regret in life. A lot of things you'll regret buying, a lot of things you'll regret investing in, like the shark vacuum. Don't do that. You will regret that one. But investing in yourself, in your happiness, and in your children, and your marriage, and your life, like literally everything that is most important to you is not something that you will ever regret. Never. Because it's the essence of your life. If you have a fantastic career, but your home life is falling to pieces and falling apart, none of it will matter. None of it will matter. This is like number one priority. Nothing else will matter if this isn't right. And that's why we do what we do. Because you are entitled and you are worthy of having the most fabulous and most happy and most thriving of parenting journeys. I don't care if your problems are this small or if they're this big. You should not be in survival mode and you should not be answering, I'm okay. Ever. Your answer should always be, I'm amazing. Right? And I will remember till every single one of my clients is traveling right now. It's like a thing. I have one going to Vietnam, one's going to Japan, the other one's going to Europe. Jennifer just went to Florida. I have like 5 clients in Florida right now. And other clients are also traveling, like everybody's traveling. And these are all women who in the past would have never traveled with their children. They would have been terrified to do so. And now they're sending me messages and they're like, I needed a little bit of time off for myself. I booked a vacation here. I booked a vacation there. And these are all people that when they were joining the program, they were stressed about finances. And we're a few months into the program, they're feeling fantastic. They're doing well and they're going on vacation, right? This is what happens when you invest in yourself. Everything in your life ends up turning around. So thank you so much, Jennifer. I don't want to take too much of your time because I know that you're at work. I really appreciate it. And I adore you. And I look forward to the rest of your journey inside of the program. Pretty sure we'll never let you go. All right. Bye. All right. Let's all say thank you to Jennifer for coming on and sharing her story with us. Really appreciate when people are able to come on and be honest and, you know, share the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And this is something that I do. You know, I go into mindset groups and business groups, and I'm asked to do interviews oftentimes because I went from teeny tiny to really big, really fast. And so people ask me to do interviews. And whenever I do an interview, I always say the raw truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly. When I talk to you guys, I say the raw truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I think it's important. And Jennifer, I honestly so much appreciate the rawness of the good, the bad, and the ugly that she's able to share, because this isn't Instagram. We're not supposed to be perfect. We're just not supposed to be perfect. Jennifer says, and nobody be afraid to invest in this program. I'm still technically paying it off on my credit card, but I would pay for it again and again without hesitation. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us. As a reminder, okay, so why does our program work so well? First and foremost, it's not just me. It's me and a team of dedicated consultants who have gone through extensive training and continue to go through extensive training to become BeBaby consultants. We're not just breastfeeding consultants. We're not just sleep consultants. We're not just parenting consultants. We're everything wrapped into one, because you're not a car. Your baby's not a car. It's not just a motor issue. It's not just, you know, a muffler issue. We can't just like segregate a piece and just fix that. You're a whole person within a whole family, within a society. And so it requires a holistic view to be able to actually change a life. How many parents have had babies with colics and reflux, and they go see, you know, a doctor, a pediatrician, or a nutritionist, and they try and get the help that they need, and it never works, because you need the whole picture. That's why we're the ones who deal with the colics and the reflux. We're the ones who actually offer that final solution. We have a 100% success rate, because whatever it takes is what we do. We have dietitians, we have doctors, we have pharmacists, we have psychologists, we have educators, we have literally anything and everything you could possibly need inside of our team. You get one consultant that's dedicated to you. She's like your friend, you know, in your back pocket. She's your encyclopedia, right? She sits down, she does a full evaluation with you. You know, she gets to understand you, to get to know your children, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, all of your dreams and all of your goals and all of your aspirations. She creates, you know, the perfect plans for you. She walks you through them. She's in your DMs, you know, every single day, there to assist